time. We are off to Iowa. Park right here. There's beds all over in here. Oh, there's a little buck. There's deer here. A huge scrape here. This is private over here, so this is the boundary. So obviously we can't go in there, but there's a few good trees down here. It looks like they grazed it with cattle recently, so probably not as many deer on that side, but all this CRP and native grass in here sure holds a few deer. Just saw a little buck on the neighbors, so good starting point. It's locked to the tree, which I wasn't planning on messing with it anyways. Hopefully people respect each other's stuff around here. Stay safe. I'm gonna get back in the river. I think it'd be a better travel corridor than walking through the timber like this. There's a scrape here and there's tracks all over in here. We found some beds, a couple scrapes up there, nice rub. The fence is down right here. It's down right here. There's trails going through here and then it's up down there. So right along this ridge looks really good. It's actually the most deer sign we found, so I'm gonna put a camera here. Here's my masterpiece. Chandler and I camouflaged the whole strap around it. I could lock it, but people seem to always just cut the locks off, so it's code locked. Hopefully the hunters are honest around here and maybe they won't even see it because now it's kind of camouflaged. So when we first came in here, before we found the dozen scrapes that we found through here, we walked this trail and it's pretty beat down. It comes right in here and there's a scrape here, a scrape there. I'm gonna put this Reconyx right there. Tons of deer sign that way. And then a big river. So it's almost like these bucks are coming through here and almost doing like a U shape. It's set up perfect for a south wind. It looks really good. This looks promising.
When I think of the best place to bow hunt whitetails during the rut, Iowa immediately comes to mind. After years of building points, I knew this year was my year to finally draw a tag. Oftentimes, we hunt the Lindsays on some of the best ground you can find in southern Iowa, let alone the Midwest. This time around, I wanted to add a challenge to the story. The challenge would be to go in blind, with no insight, and try to fill my Iowa deer tag on public land.
So I want to see where the border is. Oh, we're right on it. Okay, just making sure. This looks really good. Drops down to the creek there, like a steep bluff. It's kind of like a peak of the hill. It drops off the other side. Almost like a saddle in a sense. There's an ag field over there that's private. There's a tree cut down years ago. Someone else thought this was good as well. Definitely not the first person to be here.
Growing up, I never really hunted public land. I had access to private and really wasn't able to travel to any public. However, in my teens, trail cameras weren't popular quite yet, so there was always that sense of the unknown and not knowing what buck might be over the next ridge. Fast forward to this public land Iowa hunt, and I felt like it was almost bringing me back to my roots, starting from ground zero, having to scout the land with very little trail camera help, and really just having that whole sense of unknown again. Adding other hunters to the mix was going to make this even more of a test.
First sit in Iowa for 2020. It's November 2nd. It's actually my sister's birthday. Happy birthday, Erin. And yeah, we've done a ton of scouting. Chandler and I scouted yesterday afternoon. We scouted a full day last week. Scouted this morning another piece not far from here, and then this spot. Walked around, and I wanted to go further back in. We're probably only 3/4 of a mile in, but you could get back there probably a mile and a half to where you'd reach the end of it. And you've got private on both sides. It's pretty awesome piece. It's not really that big, but it's really long and skinny, so you can get a long ways in there. Have no idea what's in here. I can't tell you the last time that I hunted a farm and not known what's on the property. You know, there may be only like 100-inch deer on here for all I know. But that's kind of the fun of this. That's kind of why we're doing public. You know, it's like something I grew up doing back 20 years ago. I started hunting. We didn't have trail cameras, and it was just a guessing game. You just always hoped a big buck was in there. That's kind of where we're back at right now. So back to the roots on public land, trying this out. Not going to be easy, but willing to give it a shot. Leftover Halloween candy. My wife sent us with some goodies.
After all the scouting, there was a sense of relief and excitement to finally get into the stand. The first evening might have been slow, but knowing the rut was just kicking off, I knew the week ahead was going to be a fun-filled learning experience.
Here he comes. I can't tell if he's up 3-year-old or not. See, 8-point. Back in the same tree as we sat yesterday evening, and figured out pretty quick on a cold morning this isn't an ideal stand to get to. We saw a lot of deer this morning, and we weren't in the tree. We were on our way. Some of them, I already see a buck over here. Looks like a pretty good one. I'm not 100% sure. I can see him through some brush, so I'm gonna rattle, but hey, right here, coyote. I'm not shooting this one. That's what I know. Hey, get out of here. Scram. Yeah, he won't go for the deer now. Spotted a shooter. Probably 400 or 500 yards that way, but I could just see him through the brush. He was bumping does. He had like 3 or 4 does in there. Lost track of him, but biggest buck we've seen yet in Iowa. That's him. Yep, I spooked him. Actually, that's a different buck. That's a big buck. Big wide one. Unless he got our wind. Oh, I don't even clinked with my things. There's no way that it was you had to smoke this or something. that was barely loud. It wasn't that loud. He never put his tail up. He was just trotting. Not the same buck, though.
Every trail cam pull was exciting. Most resulted in a little disappointment, but after pulling a creek bottom cam, this camera had the captures I was hoping for. This was the exact jolt of motivation we needed.
That's kind of crazy. That is a shooter. There's a shooter. Got a shooter. Exciting. Another spot. Keep increasing our options. Figuring this stuff out. Getting better by the day. There's crops there. There's crops way up there. I mean, yeah. Could have deer coming from all over. Came back to the stand that we were in yesterday and this morning. We were gonna hunt not too terribly far from here. Kind of made up our mind to go there last minute. Hung a stand there earlier today. Haven't seen anybody there yet. We pulled in there and there was a guy hunting it, so that ruined our plan. We want to try to go there tomorrow.
Every single hunt carried a feeling of insecurity. A feeling of what might show up, whether it was the buck I was waiting on or another hunter walking upwind of our setup, only to end our hunt for the day. This was a roller coaster of emotions I'd never really experienced in the Midwest, but truthfully expected to happen. A change of strategy was definitely in our near future.
I was wondering if they were actually bedding in here and it starts to get thicker. Sure enough, we jumped a buck right here. Decent one, which is good to know. I mean, I wasn't gonna shoot him, so it's not that big of a bummer, but I was just curious if they're actually bedding in here or if it was more like a transition area. Clearly they're bedding in here. We've got a camera that we checked 300-400 yards that way yesterday. And there's a shooter on it, so apparently they're in here. That didn't look like one of the deer that we have either. Looks like a thicket to me. Let's go back to that tree. Pop up there. This seems like the smarter play. Just came to another spot, actually not far from where we checked that camera yesterday. And the crazy thing about this spot is we're probably 150 yards from a parking lot. There he goes. See him walking along the Milo. I'm glad we didn't go over there. Anyways, this afternoon, so we came around the other side of where this like bottom area where this river runs, and the wind's right. The only thing is we're like 150 yards from a parking lot where people go hunting. Normally I would, in the back of your mind, your instinct is get as far away as you can from any human source. Well, I feel like that's everybody's mindset around here, it seems like. So we walked maybe 30-40 yards from where we parked, and there were scrapes all over. There's some rubs in here, some scrapes right over here, and that seems to be the pattern everywhere we go for the most part. And we did see a buck when we Came in here to hang the stand. We jumped him. Not a big one, so not a big deal, but they're in here. I just happened to see it trotting. I don't see it now. It could have been, it looked like it may have been a doe, so it would have been being chased, I assume. There it is, it's a doe. So there must be a buck in there. Yep. There's the buck. Mouth open. It's a good one. It's a decent one. Way back there. I'll try rattling. Maybe he'll come over here. But I doubt he leaves the doe. He's bumping her. It's funny, man. We're like 150 yards from the parking lot. We're seeing a good buck. It's a buck. Yep, just barely see him. He just dropped down into the creek. Yeah, he's coming down the river. Straight down the edge of the river. Our side. He's probably like 80. This doe's crossing the creek. Here comes this other buck. He's sniffing our trail. Hope he doesn't. Here comes the big one. Okay, got him. He's going down. He's gonna go down right there. He's down. He's down. I have no idea, zero idea why my arrow shot so far right. He was quartering away. That was a bad shot. That was not a shot I'm proud of at all. But I got jugular, and he's down right there. I don't know why I'm still whispering. Just tagged out in Iowa on public land. Dude, it's unbelievable. Oh my God. That was an unbelievable hunt. Unreal. Unreal. Oh man, what an incredible buck too. Our trail camera we have over here, like probably, I don't know, 400 yards from here, and we don't have that deer on it. Great 8-point, big deer. Oh my God, yes. All right. Took us a little bit to get everything wrapped up in the tree and down to the bottom, but we're down, and Buck's over here across the river. Here's where he was standing. Right underneath the scrape. Arrow should be right back here somewhere. Looked like it buried right into the ground. Here it is. Wow, flew right through him. He's gotta be laying right up here. I saw him fall over. Oh, I almost walked right past him. Oh my gosh. Wow. What a big deer, big public land Iowa buck. Oh my gosh, this far exceeded my expectations. It really did. This is incredible. This is a team effort. Always is, but on hunts like this, it's even more of one. So I gotta give a big shout out to Chandler, man. It was a team effort as far as hanging stands and getting stuff set up and all of it. Just coming up with game plans. Thanks for being here, buddy. I'll have your step of the way. Incredible. We've tried to figure all this out over a matter of about a week span or so. Came up here one day last week and scouted some, and then we got here earlier this week and scouted and hunted a few days, and we've had some great hunts. Learned a lot. It's a bittersweet moment. Came to an end pretty dang quick. Like, you just wouldn't expect it to come to an end this quick, and it did. And grateful for it. Very blessed. This is an unbelievable moment. Awesome deer. So cool. Not proud of the shot. Did not mean to shoot that far right, but it did the job, and he only went about 20 yards. And we don't have a very far drag. Maybe about 200 yards tops.
Keeping the right mindset was the key to this adventure. Looking at things from a different perspective and trying new strategies were what made this hunt so rewarding. I found that most hunters had the exact same strategy as me to go in deep and essentially avoid pressure. However, that's exactly where most of the pressure was created. Adapting to everyone else's strategies and keeping it basic by reading deer sign close to the parking areas is where I found my success. The lessons gained from this Iowa hunt are what made this public land journey everything I dreamed of, and honestly I think made me a better bow hunter at the end of the day.
Oh, a big old wad of sunflower seeds in my mouth.
This is going to tell how our week's going to go. It all rides on this one little cookie right here. You will have many friends when you need them.
Maybe mine will be better. Eat chocolate to have a sweeter life. That's not a fortune.
Eat chocolate?
Those fortunes suck.
Our messy office.
Camp Tucker. Here in the Harley Davidson booth. The showroom floor in here. This is the real deal in here. There's a couple stands, but check out that bad boy. Inside the trailer is what's awesome. But the most important part of the evening is this celebratory Casey's Pizza.
You betcha.
A good day.
Yeah, boss.
We're gonna enjoy.
Time to get fat.